We speculated in a previous video about the chances of Jurassic Park Survival releasing this year in 2024, and well, according to an online marketplace based in the Czech Republic and operating across Europe, we could expect this game to release in December 2024. At least, that's what Alza is saying. As we have discussed in some of our previous videos, Saber Interactive have yet to unveil the release date for the game, but there is every chance the developers, and of course Universal Pictures themselves, are intending to get this game as close to Jurassic Park's 30th as possible, meaning we may very well be playing as Dr. Maya Joshi at the end of this year. Welcome back to the Jurassic Outpost channel, and today we are going to be speculating about when this all-new Jurassic Park video game will be releasing and investigating if this supposed December 2024 release date holds any validity at all. If you haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to be notified of our new videos, and if you have already, then thank you for the support. Now let's jump in. Welcome young Sheldon fans, this certainly appears to be the year of Jurassic. We've got the sequel series to Camp Cretaceous coming sometime later this year, and now the potential for this new video game from Saber Interactive to also release at some point during the year. The developers have yet to announce a release date for the game. The trailer of course did not indicate a release year, but most of us are thinking that 2025 is the more logical choice. But we speculated in a previous video that there is a possibility that Saber are intending for the game to release this year, and now, thanks to a development that we first saw via Swerve, Jurassic fans might be playing this game by Christmas of 2024, and honestly, that sounds pretty perfect. I'd find myself a cabin surrounded by snow and spend the entire winter doing nothing but playing this game. But anyway, where did this date come from? Well, Alza is a website that's popular in, well actually it's the leading online marketplace in the Czech Republic, or Czechia, which began as an electronics retailer but has since evolved and expanded into all areas, so you can kind of think of it like an Amazon. It's not unusual for retailers to list the product ahead of time, but for Survival, this is indeed quite early, given that there is currently no official release date for the game. So how did this date end up on the website? We think one of two things could have happened. Alza made up the date with very little thought, or the date came from an internal document that retailers have been provided with about the game. I'm not claiming to have any knowledge of this, but it's not unlikely that behind the curtain, much more information is already known, and that those partial to this kind of information, like video game journalists, retailers, other kind of insiders, they would already know more. So maybe the information came in this way. Maybe it was listed as expected December 2024 on an internal document, and whoever entered the data into the Alza website didn't read the fine print, meaning they didn't check out what could and couldn't be published about the game. Maybe Saber Interactive are telling retailers to expect the game around this time. Their wording is expected December 2024, but the page doesn't really reveal anything else about the game that we don't already know. In a sense, it's a generic holding page for an upcoming expected game, and I have to say I do not think the expected December 2024 is anything more than speculation. But you never know. Stranger things have certainly happened, and there is certainly some reason to believe that the game could come out this year, especially given that December 2024 is right at the year. It would add a whole year of development from the announcement back in December of 2023. The developers had already been working on the title for at least 10 months by the time of announcement, so a near 2-year complete development cycle is possible, depending on the scale of the game, as well as a number of other factors, of course. I want to play a clip from a recent episode of our podcast where Assis, Caleb, and Jaden were discussing this very topic and share some very interesting insight into the chance of a 2024 release.
The fact that they have pre-alpha footage already tells me that there's been some development already. I know that the boys have posted on Twitter and I think on the site as well that there's been development for at least 12 months or 18 months or something like that, which is not a lot of time to get like a AAA game like off the ground really, but we don't really know the budget of this. Saber Interactive doesn't really do AAA games. They're more in the mid-range budget. Like one of the more recent releases was like the Ash versus the Evil Dead or something, that video game, and then also the World War Z game. I think they developed that in-house, and those were fine games. Unfortunately, I think one of them didn't get the reception they wanted. World War Z had a rocky start, so the fact that Saber Interactive is not only publishing but developing gives me a little bit of hesitation because they haven't really been known to like have that big standout knock out of the park on release day. Like their stuff gets fixed kind of later down the line. But I'm hoping that with this franchise, they have kind of the money now, and like Saber Interactive kind of has the name now, like the name recognition. They're a name in the industry now, so they should be able to pull some good talent. So fingers crossed for this for the thing. But I think 2024 it is possible. I think, but it just depends on how far along they are in their stuff, because they still have to do all the beta testing and all that stuff before they even get close to, I guess, announcing a date. I guess we'll probably get more announcements or hear more about this game in summertime. I think this summer,
yeah, like
around
June,
like the awards game season.
That's when all like the awards and like other cons and stuff like that happen.
Okay.
So that's probably when we get a more concrete estimate of when it will come out. But I mean, that's pretty interesting.
I even say if it is coming out this year, we probably even see a gameplay trailer. So like not this CGI heavy thing, but the gameplay, like more gameplay stuff. Like that will be the indicator. Once you kind of see the gameplay trailer, that'll kind of be like, okay, this game is like just around the corner kind of thing. So we still have a little bit to go. It could be 2025. Take as long as you need, polish it. I want this game to be as good as Alien Isolation. Like that's the bar. Like that's the bar. You got to meet that. Like that game was so good for Alien franchise, for fans like us, and like they got to do it. And I think Saber can pull it off. They're very detail oriented for franchises that they have, so I think they'll be able to pull it off in terms of fan reception. But in terms of gameplay and critical reception, that remains to be seen.
December 2024, could be a good Merry Christmas gift to Jurassic fans, maybe.
I would be happy if this game came out and it got like a similar reception and was as good as the Avatar Frontiers of Pandora game that came out from Ubisoft
He
this
was
year.
Reading my mind. That's
my man. We're on the same wavelength. It's that JP3 energy.
Yeah.
We're the same. So if it's like that game got like, for fans of the of the Avatar franchise, it was perfect. All the little Easter eggs, the world was fantastic. So, and that was Ubisoft, which is a AAA company. They have a lot more money, resources, and manpower. But if it's that good, I'd be happy.
Well. Mm-hmm. It came out in December, so
that's
exactly.
What gives me a couple weeks ago,
yeah.
So it's possible. December, it could be possible. It's early December, mid-December, right before the holidays. There is precedence for like movie-themed games coming out that time of year.
A lot of great points made there. So Alien Isolation took a total of 4 years to develop, or at least from the first pitch to the first release. That game released in October 2014, so a while ago now, nearly 10 years. I thought it might be worth looking at some of Saber Interactive's titles and their development times and seeing if there's any form of pattern. One of their titles, SnowRunner, was first announced in August of 2018 and released in April of 2020. At least 2 years development time for that game, but we don't know how long they started working on it prior to that August 2018 announcement. 2019's World War Z video game was first announced at the Game Awards in December 2017 and was finally released in April of 2019. Another 2-year development, give or take. Evil Dead the game was also announced at the Game Awards in 2020 and then released in May of 2022. A very similar timeline to World War Z, roughly 2 years of development time, but likely more towards 3. Another game of Saber's, Space Marine 2, was also announced at the Game Awards on 9th of December 2021 and is scheduled for a release in September of 2024. So this one actually has a longer development time and is likely to be the game that they release just before Survival. So take from this information what you will, but generally they seem to favor a 2 to 3 year development cycle, and Jurassic Park Survival could be the same. It could follow that same pattern. If we follow the release timeline for World War Z and Evil Dead, then we should expect a release date for Survival to come during spring of 2025, April, May, or more likely even June to hit the anniversary date, meaning a 2024 release is beginning to sound less and less likely. Generally, major video games can be released throughout the year, but there is and always has been a bit of a tradition for major titles to get released in the run-up to the holiday season, be it October, November, or December itself. More people have more time off during this period, or generally find themselves with more time to, play video games, more time to play, and of course, video games make great presents, so Saber could be looking at this period for a release to get the game in the hands of as many players as possible. For example, the very recent Avatar game, Frontiers of Pandora, released on December 7th, 2023, and has done pretty well for a video game based on a film series. This title was also released on the previous generation. Jurassic Park Survival is only for current gen PS5, Xbox Series X and S, which could mean a shorter development time as they don't have to factor in previous generations as well. These things could put the game in an ideal position for a winter 2024 release, we just don't know. Regardless of when Jurassic Park Survival hits shelves and consoles, we could not be more excited for this game, and we know you are too. Most of all, we hope that the game is fully developed, fully realized, and fully finished before release. In other words, we hope that the chosen release timeline is what's best for the game to be as great as it can be, regardless of if that means waiting a little bit longer. It's going to be a thrilling experience for Jurassic fans when we finally get the chance to survive on Isla Nublar. When are you hoping to get your hands on Jurassic Park Survival? Be sure to share your thoughts down below in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. We'll see you in the next one.